folks, Tom Vasel here, and today we are talking about the top 10 games from each letter of the alphabet, the AlphaBest series of games. Today's the letter U. U is a tougher one to do. There's not as many games that start with the letter U, but fortunately, every game on this list I like. That's good. Some not as much as others, but I still do enjoy them. So let's get started with number 10, which I haven't played for probably a decade, but I really enjoyed when it came out, and that's Uno Hearts. Yes, not Uno. Uno would make my top 100 games that start with the letter U. Uno Hearts is essentially hearts. Hearts has always been my favorite basic game to play with a deck of cards. Uno Hearts takes that, adds a couple special cards in the mix and things, and so I enjoy how that works together, and I like hearts, so Uno Hearts I'd rather play, I guess, than hearts. All right, let's get to some other ones. Number 9 is Ugtect. Called Argtect in some languages. Ugtect is the only game I know of that comes with an inflatable club in it where you are actually hitting the other people on the head with it. I like games that encourage that sort of thing. You are trying to get people to build a certain thing with blocks by giving them caveman type clues. You hit them when they're wrong. You hit them when they're right. Different kinds of hits, I guess. Silly fun to play. Even better to watch. That's Ugtect. Number 8 is Ubongo. Ubongo is a puzzle-style game in which you are trying to put pieces in faster than other people. I like it. It's kind of, hey, who's smarter at doing Tetris than the other people, or doing a kind of a spatial puzzle. But it is a pretty style game. It has a really wonky scoring system, but I do enjoy the actual basic Ubongo, and there's different variants of Ubongo too. So that's number 8. Number 7 is Uchronia. Uchronia is a game which many people love the original game, Glory to Rome. Uchronia is a somewhat simpler version of that game with dinosaurs. Okay, see, that automatically would make me like it better. Dinosaurs are cool, but I think in the long run, I think I like it a little bit better than Glory to Rome, although Glory to Rome probably has some more depth to it, but Uchronia still is pretty neat. It's a beautiful production. And just the idea of using a card and doing something and then everyone else can follow you and do the same action. It's a cool concept and highly recommend it. Number 6 is Urbania. Now, Urbania is a game not many people know about. It's a game where you're putting tiles into a city, and they're bringing up, the energy quotient or the economic, and you're getting points. It's a pretty neat game. Like I said, didn't get a lot of buzz. Unfortunately, I think Quadropolis does kind of the same thing in a better way. They are different games, though, but I think Quadropolis is probably the better one. But I still was very impressed with this game when it came out and still would gladly play it, and that is Urbania. Number 5 just came out last year and is being released this year from Cool Mini or Not in America, and that is Unusual Suspects. Although many people call this Racism the Game, which it might be. In this game, it's a cooperative game where you have some suspects and you ask a question like, who would ride a bike to work? And you are eliminating people by them saying, yes, the murderer would do that or they would not do that. And it's basically judging a book by its cover. And so in some groups, that's probably not the best thing to do, but it can lead to some hilariously fun times, and it's an interesting cooperative game. Number 4 is Union Pacific. Now, I'm kind of stretching maybe to put this on the list because Union Pacific has been completely replaced for me by Airlines Europe, which is essentially the same style game, and they just modified it. But Union Pacific was a great game from Alan Moon that I played many times, placing tracks, train connections, growing trains, and putting stock into those. Really enjoyable game. If you get a chance to play it, but Airlines Europe is the better version of that out now. Number 3 is a great competitor to King of Tokyo, and that is Ultimate Warriors with a Z at the end. Ultimate Warriors is a game in which you have these, dragon fighting a goblin, and you put them in the ring, and you're rolling dice, and with card selection. It's silly fun, but it's deeper than you might think, but it's mostly silly fun as you put these in there, and you're trying to kill each other, and really enjoy this game. If you like King of Tokyo, you will probably like Ultimate Warriors. Number 2 is a bicycle racing game, Reifenbleit. This one actually never came out in English for whatever reason. But if you remember my T list, I talked about Thunder Alley. Reifenbleit has one of the same things, drafting. You have multiple bicycles in this game. You are racing around the board. You are drafting other bikes, trying to win the race that way. There's a lot of really cool things in this game. And it has silly artwork, a Mad Magazine style almost. I do wish there was a new reprint of it, although it's pretty cheap to pick up in Europe. That's Bright. And my number one game that starts with the letter U is Ultimate Werewolf. Ultimate Werewolf takes Werewolf and just makes it the best possible game. I like Werewolf. I love Mafia, whichever version you play. But Ted Alspach took Werewolf and added 6,380 million rolls to it. That number might be slightly exaggerated, but he added more rolls than anyone I know. A great artwork, a lot of cool things. There's artifacts. There's so many little expansions that he added. And you don't want to use all this stuff. You want to add one or two. But you know what? I can add one or two different things to every game. Werewolf is another one of those games that just gives me great stories time and time and time again. And it's one of those games that will never leave my collection for that reason. An amazing game, Werewolf. Ultimate Werewolf is the best version of that game. Those are my top 10 games that start with the letter U. What are yours? What did I miss? What could you not believe that I didn't say? Tell us in the comments below. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel. This has been the Dice Tower, and you've been watching the AlphaBest series.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching the Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.